Hello, hello. Thank you all for joining us today. I deeply appreciate Shivani's efforts in making this event happen, and I really want to thank her and all the performers that they felt and they thought it is really necessary to look back and on what they have created. When Shivani told me about this, I have noted down few things why I felt and how I approach this need of revisiting our work. So I'm just going to read out my notes for you. What I create is a part of who I am. Where I create, I'm true to myself. I reflect, I learn, and I unlearn. I strongly believe that as an artist, revisiting the journey I embarked on is deeply moving. There is both a sense of belonging and enduring longing to create. It feels like timber, the wood, lying around to season, make it suitable for use. These movements are just collected, and now they're adjusting their content of that of the environment in which they will be used. I carry what I have created, offering it to the spectator to sever, leave, or carry with them as they please. Yet I choose to live with it. And I'm curious about everybody's journey here, beautiful artists and performers. And I want to know what they think and if they can share their journeys with us. Now I'm going to ask a few questions. First question is to everyone, including Shivani as a producer of this work. And that is, how do you approach looking back on your work after a year? What are the thoughts or perspectives come to your mind when you reflect on your past performances? Would you like to share your feelings and thoughts?
Shivani, are you kicking us off? And then we can answer.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to just talk about Vanda at a time and specifically and not about other work, but I think Vanda came from an inquiry that was even older or was, a couple of years down the line. So I feel like for me, that um, inquiry is a very ongoing thing. And it's almost like it has begun at one point in time, but I'm developing. And as I develop, that inquiry keeps coming back. And it helps me look back at my practice with like a renewed lens or maybe a renewed understanding. What I created at that point in time was authentic to that Shivani and my artistic inquiry at that point in time. When I look back, I'm like, that's where I was. Where am I now? So I don't try to judge myself or my work in terms of was this good, was this bad. That's not something I do. But I like to look at it and I think it just helps me locate myself today more than anything.
I
Anyone?
can,
Yeah.
yeah, I can add on a little bit just to say that I think as artists, especially in the kind of world we function today with applying for grants and making work and creating and going back and applying and making and creating, I think it's like this like process or cycle of always wanting to put ourselves out there. So I think for me, this exercise is literally one of the first, thanks to y'all, where I'm actually like sitting and thinking, oh, I'm actually taking a step back and reflecting on what I made rather than actually thinking of what I'm going to make again the next time. So I think it's just a really nice way to for us as artists, but also people who view, to think of something that they looked at or will look at it in a very different light and in a very different perspective. I think the other thing for me is to just connect back with people who I connected with, again, like Shivani saying, at a certain point in time, and just to see how all those journeys have changed or evolved during that 1 year. When do we do that? Like we make work with other people and then we we perform it and then we move on to the next work. But it's just so nice to come back and think about, okay, what's Debanjali done with her thing, and what's Maryam done with her thing, and where's Shivani doing the next thing? So I think that sort of way to establish that connection is also a really nice space to have that with all of you. I'll pass it on to someone else.
Sure. Hi. Yeah, the last point was very well reflected, Kavya. When do we go back to the works, to the people who have helped us, supported us in creating a new work? That's actually a marvelous thing Shivani has done this year, and with, of course, Venu, who was like the fresh pair of eyes looking at all the production again. Choreographically speaking, we revisit I revisit all my works that I have done, whether it's a solo or an ensemble. Every now and then I think, oh, this could have been done differently. This could have maybe pushed the limits further, or maybe I should have refrained from doing this. There is a lot of thoughts that go back, which is why we keep saying, please give us videos of our performance because we want to see what we have done. And especially with solo choreographies or works in progress, because in a way even when we staged it last November, they were still progressing and had potential to progress in different directions from there on. What more can be done with it? Not just the story we were trying to say, but not because it was already, the soundscape was already set or anything. There was the opportunity to push that as well. And I think all of us have gone back, reflected, rethought, and now reconvened to figure out, if we do this again next year, what more can be done. So it's every time it's the nature of revisiting performance. It would be refreshing our own choreographies in our own minds and eyes, is of my opinion.
Thanks so much, Debanjali. I'll jump in now as well. So I think for me, it's the thing that I find quite interesting looking back is that, I remember a year ago when I was in the kind of process of making the work, and it was a very kind of like intense period of creation and growing, and it was quite stressful also for me for me personally. It was quite going from like zero to a full kind of 16, 17-minute piece in about 3 months was quite a whole new thing for me. So I feel like I wasn't really able to kind of even really appreciate where I was at the time of making it and at the time of performing it, because it was just also wrapped up in this whole kind of creation process. So I do feel like now when I'm looking back, I'm able to actually think, wow, okay, these are the themes that I successfully grappled with. These are the new elements that I've actually brought into my work, and I'm really interested in taking it even further and growing in that direction in my work. So I think having that time to reflect and having the time pass allows the bits that were strong in the work to kind of really come up to the surface, so you really understand actually what you did, and just have that, just the reflection time to also appreciate what you, that, oh yeah, I made some work and it was actually quite good, I think.